Hi there, this is the tutorial for the path assignment for Photoshop. I would like to display the actual PDF file on screen, so I'm going to go through it kind of quickly here. Um, the uh, the way that we're going to be doing this is I'm going to be flipping back and forth between the PDF file, my example, and the actual hands-on directions that I've included in this PDF file. The very first thing we're going to be doing is opening Illustrator and copying some paths. I would like you to see and very much go by the handout for the guidelines for the new page in Photoshop. And for some of you, and for all of you, I want you to be very conscious of the fact that paths going to and from Photoshop and Illustrator have to be the preferences in Illustrator have to be set up for that. So I'm going to be going ahead and showing you that right away. Even though we're going to be pasting as pixels, and that's the default paste, I want you to have the capability of pasting as paths, which I'm circling here, or as shape layers if you need those, and we'll get into those later. The finished example is right here in the PDF file. And the biggest thing that I want you to note, and I'm going to try to enlarge it on screen or go to the exact one that's mine, is the main reason why we're doing this file, this assignment, is, well, it's a twofold reason, and I say so in the PDF file. It's for organization, and it's for understanding the difference between paths and between layers. So I have the paths over here to the right labeled L1 through R6. The layers are just named the same way, L1 through R6, and I want to go right to my example file and show you the finished version of that right within Photoshop, and I have taken the visibility away from all of the layers because I want to get close to this so you can see exactly what I'm meaning by some things when I actually say it. I have described in the PDF file, which I have on screen again, the numbers of all of these items, and I'm going to magnify that on screen so I can kind of go through it with you. L1 through L4 are self-explanatory. L5 is the small curve. L6 is the one to its immediate right. L7 is right there where I'm pointing. L8 is the larger triangle shape behind L5 and 6. L9 is the shape behind L7, and then L10 is on the bottom. Now, why these shapes have to be L5, 6, and 7, and these two triangles are labeled L8 and L9, is because they have to stay in that stacking order in the layer palette or they won't show up. The same has to do with R1 and R2. R1 is the little snaky squiggle shape right there, and R2 is the large rectangle. Now, what I would like to do is go immediately to the Photoshop file so I can show you what I'm talking about. I do not really care about how you color these. You could fill them with your airbrush. I describe a couple of ways of filling them in the handout. Don't forget about Option Delete for the foreground color and Command Delete for the background color. But here's the main reason why I'm wanting you to learn this. I'm going to get very close to my L1 shape, and I'm going to show you by clicking right up here on the path, up here on the right, that I have now drawn and highlighted the L1 path. It highlights itself over here. Now, if I want to actually click to it in the pen tool, I'm going to go hold down the command key for the path selection tool and click on it just to show you I can highlight it. If I want to duplicate it, I can hold Command Option or do one of several other things. But I'm going to go back over here to the path palette and Command click on this path palette. That is how I placed color into the L1 layer right there. Meaning I made a selection out of the path, clicked, first created and then selected or clicked on the layer to activate it, and then I filled it up with whatever color I wanted to. These are referred to as, if you look over here, add paths. And I don't want to get into subtract paths right now, which we will do later, but an add path is one that recognizes within the marquee, not outside of it. So what I want to do is to start on how to draw this shape. I'm going to Command D to deselect the shape and turn off the visibility, and now we're going to go do exactly what the handout says to start the initial shape. So let me minimize this screen and go right to my Illustrator screen so that I can start the process. Your job is to copy these paths that I have right here and paste them into Photoshop as pixels. This is an 8.5 by 11 letter size page. I'm going to minimize this screen. Command A to select all, so now all the paths are selected. Now before I go to Command C to copy these, I want you to make sure and keep it in the back of your mind somewhere that you have to go to the Illustrator menu to Preferences, down to Clipboard. In the Clipboard Preferences, you have to make sure that the AICB or Adobe Illustrator Clipboard Preferences are selected, and the button that's clicked is Preserve Paths. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to go Command C to copy these. Now, according to the PDF file, which I'll bring up right now, the PDF file says, let me go back to it, and let me minimize the screen for a second here. The PDF file says right here, to close Illustrator and open a new canvas in Photoshop. Notice I did not call it a new page. Make your new page dialog box or new canvas, I should have said that, make your new canvas dialog box match the one that I have over here. 8.5 by 11, 72 pixels per inch, and we're going to have a white background to start this file. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so let's minimize this, open up Photoshop, and let me start a brand new one in Photoshop. So let me go Command N or New, File New. In this dialog box, let's go change this to inches, just so you can see it's 8.5 by 11. Let's go from Clipboard, which is okay to do, but I'm going to actually go, this would, if I went to Clipboard, it would recognize the sizes on the clipboard, and then it would make my canvas match the exact edges. I don't want to do that. I want to give it a little bleed area, so I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to go to letter size. I'm going to change this to 72 ppi and click OK. Now a canvas comes up, which I'm going to stretch out here just so I can get it all to show on screen. Now what I want to do is go Command V to paste it as pixels. As soon as I click OK, this box will paste in with a what they refer to as a this is the transform bounding box. It lets you grab the edges, rescale it, but I don't want you to touch it. I just want you to accept it. So hit the return key to accept it. Now if I get close to this, I want you to see something right now. This, if I try to draw on top of this line right here, is going to be too dark for me to see my pen line. I'll illustrate right here. Watch if I try to draw. And notice right now in my path palette, there isn't anything selected in the path palette. As soon as I take the pen tool and click a shape, that's excellent that this happened. The very first thing, and let me Command Z this back, the very first thing that I want you to do is to make sure that as soon as you click the pen tool, look up here to the three icons that are up here on the upper left-hand corner of the options palette for the pen. This left-hand icon is a shape layer icon, and I don't want you to be selected on that, and we'll discuss it in further assignments. But I want you to be clicked on the or selected to the path icon of the pen tool, not the shape icon. I do not want to see a vector shape when I start to draw. I want to see only, and let me throw this away, I want to see only a work path in the path palette. So what I'm going to do now is I just threw away my template. I didn't want to do that. I'm going to double click the layer 1 name and call it template. So I type in template, hit the return key, and now knowing that I haven't reduced the opacity of this, I want to show you something. If I try to draw, and again for the second time or third time, I'm going to say make sure that the middle icon is selected for the pen options so you're drawing with a path only. Two things I want you to see. First of all, if I try to draw this shape by holding the shift key, I click here, just so you can see, you can't see that line that's formed between here and here, because it just Photoshop doesn't allow for visibility of the path tool very well, so I want to show you how to control that. Second thing I want you to see is as soon as you start drawing, you create a work path. Now I'm going to delete that out, and as soon as I delete that out, the work path will be gone. But I'm going to take the template and reduce the opacity, not the fill, but the opacity. I'm going to make it lighter than I said in the handout. I'm going to make it about 35% for me so that you can see it, my line that I draw, very, very well. Now, let me back off on this again because I want to show you a couple of things. Let's get close to the R5 through R10 shapes. Actually, I wanted to do that in my own assignment, in my own finished example. And then I'm going to not display or draw every shape. So this tutorial won't take long. Let me display the L5, L6, and L7 layers. Now, understand that those are not strokes. Those are shapes. And they have to be drawn completely on the left-hand side and the right-hand side of each shape. So I'm going to show you that by showing you one of these and how to edit it, and then you follow my handout and you'll be able to do it yourself. L8 is the larger shape in back, L9 is the larger shape in back, and of course L10 is the smaller one on the bottom right here. But I want to show you by removing the visibility from these the exact thing that I'm talking about. I'm going to bring up L6 right now on the path. So I go over here to the path palette and I click on it. I'm going to reduce the template visibility even more, way down to something so we can see it really well on screen. Do you see how you can now see my path in here? I only had to draw this side of it, and then I duplicated it for the other side, made some edit changes, and I closed the shape. In fact, I didn't close it very well. I'm going to fix it right now. Okay, now let me go Command 0 to see the full screen. And we're going to start with the first shape. Then I'm going to go and show you a couple of things with some of the other shapes, like I said, and only do the most difficult ones. So let me minimize this screen, click right to the one that I have right here, which I should be saving right now with my path assignment underscore and my first and last name. So let me go Command 0 to fit this entire thing in my screen. Get a little pasteboard showing right here, and now begin the assignment. I'm going to click to the template. We're going to magnify the screen to get close to the first shape. Now, I'm going to bring up on screen the exact directions that it takes to make this. So if I go Command 0 on the PDF file and go ahead, I want you to read this template because there's many things that I say in here which I'll probably come back to refer to. But I'm going to magnify from page 4 the directions, and I'm going to not keep them on screen as I'm drawing, but I'm going to show you that this is a click. Follow my handout when I'm drawing, okay? This is a click and a shift click. Then you go down here to point 3 and you pull click to 6, pull click to 5, pull click to 5, pull click to 6. Now please understand, I'm going to option re-click the point to get rid of the second handlebar, then shift click back on point 1 to close. That's the difference between Photoshop and Illustrator. In Illustrator you don't have to option re-click, you just re-click. So let's go demonstrate that. Let's take this shape, click on here, and let's go with the pen tool, click on the first point, shift click on the second point, shift click on the third point and let go and pull out a handlebar towards 6. I'll get slightly closer to the shape. And now let's go over here, find the center of this where the curves actually form a void, and pull click to 5, move it over, pull click to 5, come over here, pull click to 6. Now I'm going to move it a little bit over like this so you can see the handlebar actually go away. Notice when I'm holding the option key down, the pen tool stays as the pen tool. In Illustrator this would be changing to the convert tool. It is the convert tool right now. You just have to hold the pen over vector information, meaning this is vector information and this is vector information. So if I want to, I can take and I can option. If you see the pen still stays a pen, but the little so hard for you to see on screen, there's a little convert insignia to the right hand side of the bottom of the pen. I can't point it out to you because if I let go, it won't show up. So if I Option re-click, you can see how I got rid of that handlebar. Now, I'm going to go back up here and Shift click to close. Now, let me get close to this, so I'm going to show you what I want you to really concentrate on. I'm trying to match a vector line to pixeled information. So I want you to have a little bit of leeway. You don't have to match it as perfectly, as very much as perfectly as you would have in the Illustrator assignment. So just try to get this into the center, what I refer to as a non-literal, kind of literal center of this line, okay? And you can see that I'm doing my best. From this point on, everything pretty much matches the Illustrator capability of the pen tool. This handlebar is still connected to the other handlebar. So if you don't want one side to move and the other side does move, either this pen point isn't in the right place and you have to pick it up and slightly shift it up and over, or you're going to have to hold the Option key down and convert or split the handlebars. I'll do that right here. Let's say I got this one done really well right here. I'm only holding the Command key down for the pen tool because I'm staying in the direct or path selection tool. In Illustrator it's called the direct selection tool. Here it's called the path selection tool. Let me hold the space bar down for my hand. Now I'm going to pull this down, but I'm going to say, oh darn, I can't fix one side, the other side keeps on messing up. So I'm going to hold my finger on the Option key and I'm going to split this handlebar ever so slightly. Remember, I always tell you, do not stay in the Convert tool. Go back to the Command key or the Selection tool and finish your edit, and try not to get these handlebars more than 5 degrees off center. Here is a well done edited shape ready for the next level. Now look over here in the path palette. In fact, I'll bring the path palette right over here. It's called a work path. Your job is to double click it and name it L1. Now, clicking OK and hitting the return key does not save the path forever. You have to save the file in order to save the path. Now I know that there's going to be 16 shapes. Remember that paths have nothing to do with layers. So I'm going to bring the layer palette over here and I'm going to pull it down, and just because I know I need 16 layers, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the template layer selected and click 16 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now I have actually 16 layers. At any time, before you start filling with color, you can do this. Just go ahead and start naming these L1 through R6. Now, watch a quick way to name these. If you want the first one up here, which should be the top one, named L1, double-click L1 here and go Command-C. Double-click the one that's up here, which is layer 16, and go Command-V. Hit the return key, and now L1 path is ready to be turned into a selection. You select the L1 layer and go ahead and paint. Now, I said that exactly properly, and I'll demonstrate that in a few minutes. Now, using my same directions all the way down, I'm going to go right down and I'm going to demonstrate this one right here. In fact, on the handout I tell you the directions for L7. Let's go to the handout right now for L7 and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Let's go ahead. I believe it's on the next page. So let me go down. There it is right there. It's a two-fold set of directions. I show you how to draw one side. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Could have started at the top, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to pull up to 12 and over to 2 and up to 12 and over to 2 and up to 12. Then I'm going to leave it. Then I'm going to duplicate it and join it together. And that's the fastest way to do it. Now, one important thing I have to tell you. Look at my path palette. L1 path is selected. If I start drawing L7, which this shape is, it's just going to appear on the L1 path. What I should do is click away from this and make a new work path. Then I could just name it L7 after I double-click the word work path and name it L7. That'd be fine. But I want to make the error to show you how to fix it when you do put two things on one path, but you don't want two things on one path. So watch me leave L1 selected incorrectly. Again, right now it doesn't matter what layer is selected because this has nothing to do with layers. So let me go down here, and I'll try to get close to this and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to start right here on the bottom, and I'm going to pull up to 12 noon because I want to use this handlebar right here. We'll get rid of this handlebar later by option clicking to join those 2 points together. I'm going to go to the void area, and when I say pull away from it, look at how I'm going to pull in roughly the same direction as the curve is going. Now let's go up here and go straight to where this is a flat part and pull just like this. In fact, if I pull up a little bit, I better shrink this one back a little bit in order to have symmetry in my handlebars, or have them take the same responsibility on both sides of the curve. Go up here, follow over here, and let me find where the center is and pull. Now, I've told you not to edit as you go. I have a habit of editing as I go because I don't like to go backwards. I will go finish the shape to show you that I can go backwards. Let me pull this down and go straight up with it. And now, before we even begin again, I'm going to do two things. So you can see what I'm doing better, I'm going to single click the template and reduce the visibility down even further so you can barely see my template in behind my pen line. Okay? Now, I'm going to pull this over and push this up, edit this up, and do the things that are necessary, holding my finger. Remember, I'm in the pen. The command key is the direct or path selection tool. So what I would like you to do is not, I'm going to bring this over here. I would like you not to go over here for the convert tool, and I would like you not to go inside here for the direct selection tool. Okay? As a matter of fact, I've been calling it the path selection tool because really that's what it is. It's a variation of the path selection, but you can call it the direct selection tool because obviously they do. So let me now see how well my edit is. And now I have finished with the one side. So I'll back off the magnification of L7. Now, hold Command Option, as I say so in the handout. Pull or drag it over to the one side and go up a little bit just like I did. Look at how easy it was to put that on the other side. Now we have a little bit of a fix-it. In other words, this is probably in the right spot, but this one is not. So let me click this, and have all the points open. Whoops, I better go back to here. Click this. Make sure when you're in the pen, because I was just about to select it with the regular selection tool, make sure that the last selection tool that you have selected over here in the tools is the direct selection. Because just like in Illustrator, if you hold the command key on the pen and it's the wrong selection tool, you better toggle between the, in this case, toggle between the A keys for the two selection tools and you will have the right one. Now, because you have to be in the direct select version of it. So let me pull it down and go like this, and look at how I'm matching up the ends of these and going like this and matching up the ends. Now work your way through this and do the small edits that are necessary in order to maintain a fairly constant width. I'm fairly constant with it, a little bit more this way, okay, and I'll bring this a little bit farther down. One other thing I have to mention is please turn off Snap To. So go up to the View guide. Do not have Snap on because sometimes that gets in the way of you free-forming or putting into your own place where that path should go. Now let me finish this edit and close the shape, and then I'll do one more shape and then we'll be done. Let me go like this and edit my shape. Now here's how you close two shapes. In fact, it's interesting to note, you do not have to have the paths selected in order to close them. Photoshop is smart enough to know that when you're in the pen tool, you're talking about vectored paths. So I'm going to hold the Option key down and look at how I'm going to go over here and click where the first endpoint is. As a matter of fact, you can hardly see it, but on screen right now, the little icon to the bottom of the pen icon is an X. If I go over here, it changes to an O, and it tells me that I'm going to begin the process of closing a path, which is what a circle stands for. So I'm going to go over here and click. If you saw very quickly, you saw that I converted out, and now the insignia shows a convert tool on the pen tool. I converted out that handlebar that was going up in this direction. Now if I just hold my finger on the Option key and click over here, I have closed the shape on this side and converted out both of those handlebars I didn't want. Now let's magnify, let's go down to the bottom and do the same thing. Hold the Option key and I call it Option click and Option close. Now if you have to review that a couple of times, go ahead, but right now I should save the file, which I'm not going to do because I can do this again if I have to. I would like you to save the file though. Now look at how I have two things on one path. Obviously that's incorrect. I know that this is L1, I know this is L7. So listen to my logic here. I'm going to bring the path palette over here. And let me minimize the path palette at this point so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. This is what I want to do. There's several ways to do this, but the fastest way to do it is to duplicate the paths. Take L1 now, click to it, hold your finger while you're in the pen on the Command key and just marquee this shape a little bit. You don't even have to marquee the whole thing. And have one delete and two deletes. If you had marqueed the entire curve, one delete would have done it because all the points would have been solid and one delete would have made them go away. I'm going to now click to the L1 copy, which I'm going to double click and name it L7. Hit the return key and now I don't want this shape up there. In other words, I want to demonstrate this again to you. Watch how if you hold your finger on the Command key and you just marquee a portion of this, one delete would get rid of these 2 points, two deletes would get rid of the rest, but be careful, three deletes will get rid of the shape you want to keep. So let me marquee the whole thing and show you that one delete would have gotten rid of it. Now, don't hit the delete key again or you'd get rid of the shape you want to keep. Let me go back now, and let's go now to one of the hardest images on here. Before I forget, I want to describe to you again that, and I'm going to raise the visibility from the template up a little bit so we can see it a little bit better on screen. Let me go back to where I was here, right about there. Now, please do this shape first, and then do the other shape second. Now, I'm going to do this R6 shape for you, so let me put this up here, correctly click away from it, if you saw that, and now hit the pen tool and let's start this shape. And I'm going to call it, of course, R1. In the handout guide, it says, well, let me find it here. In the handout guide, it says, if you go to this shape, and I want you to understand that all the up arrows you should hold the Shift key to. All the down arrows you should hold the Shift key to. So on the up arrows you hold the Shift key so it constrains the handlebar going straight up to make a nice perfect half curve or half circle. And on the bottom you do the same thing. So follow me while I do this one. Let me minimize that screen and go right to it. Let me take the pen tool, hold the Shift key and go straight up but not too far. Try to follow this line all the way through, and if you want to, you can put a guide right down through the center here so it shows you exactly where to click these. And let me get close to this so we can kind of play the game. I'm going to start here and I'm going to go over here, hold the Shift key and pull straight down. Now I can edit later, which again I will hold the Shift key while I edit. So let me click right there, hold the Shift key and pull straight up. Again, I'm going to have to edit that. Let's go over here, hold the Shift key and pull straight down. Then over to this point and pull straight up. I'm going to have to edit, obviously. Let's, we have to actually, which I don't think I wrote in the handout. In fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't write it in the handout. Let me go back to the handout and see. Once you pull up this handlebar, you have to get rid of it. So, you know what? Never mind. I'll edit it. What it will say over here is after you do 0.5, you're going to have to Option click the point to get rid of the handlebar, then shift click on this one. So it'll say Option click on point 5, then shift click on point 6. So let's go back and let's minimize this, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I hold the Option key and click on this one, then shift click on this one, I've created my straight line. Now I've got some edits to do, which is no big deal. If I hold the shift key and pull straight down, I go over here and pull straight up. Hit the shift key and pull straight down, pull straight up. Go over here, don't worry about this, it's easily fixed. Let's pull straight down. Let's hold the Option key and re-click on this point, and then shift key, I'm sorry. Alright, I have to write this too. Not only do you hold the shift key, but you have to hold the Option key as well, and I better go to lock my guides because I don't want to click on it. Let me go close here and show you what I'm talking about. This one should have been moved down here, and this one should have been moved down here. I have to make a straight line, plus get rid of that handlebar. So, if I click this point, which I have to because I want to complete the path over here, I'm going to go over here and hold Option and Shift and click. Now, it got rid of the handlebar and made a straight line going across, which was very convenient. Now watch how fast you can actually finish the shape. It's not as hard as it looks. Let's click on this line segment and pull this up, but hold the shift key after we start grabbing and try to make the handlebars as even as you can. I'll take this one and I'll bring this one down. I'll take this one, grab it, hold the shift key, bring it down, click this one, grab it, hold the shift key, bring it up, click this one, grab it, hold the shift key, bring it down. Now, that's perfect geometry. Let me move the layer palette over a little bit, and now I can finish this one. Click, let's bring it down. Look at how I'm trying to get even responsibility for each one of those lines. Click, click, hold the shift key, go up, click, hold the shift key, go down, click, hold the shift key, go up. Okay, that's beautiful. Let's finish this whole one. In fact, I'll get this one out of the way first. Let's click, then hold the shift key and go down. Now let me describe again what I'm doing. You have to hold the Command key for the direct selection tool. But once you grab this handlebar, you have to hold the shift key to constrain it up. It's going to take some practice. So you click with the direct selection tool, which means hold the Command key down. Then click, hold the shift key and go straight up. Then click and hold the shift key and go straight up. Now let's go over here. Click with the Command key. Click and add the shift key to it. And let's fix this. Let's marquee both of these points and bring them both down like this. Let's grab this, hold the shift key and go down like this. And now I have a fairly decent solution on that shape, which of course is now named work path. I have to double click it, name it R6. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's actually R1. And now I'm going to go fix the handout so I don't have any fix-its there to do. At least by doing it on screen, it showed me what my errors were. That is really a definitive approach to how to do all of this. Let me go back to the PDF file and very quickly show you that most of this is perfect. This will be perfect by the time you see it. All of these here on the final page 7, just do exactly what it looks like. I have given you R number 3, but this is not the way it's going to look when you first do it. It's going to look like the little drawing over here. Don't worry about that. Once you actually grab by the convert tool and you convert the handlebars back down, then you will be able to finish the shape. So once you pull this up, you can convert it to go back down. Okay, and maybe I should show that kind of quick right here. So let me go like this, click this, click away in the path palette so nothing is selected. Go over to here, show you that I want to click and go straight up. Then you click and go straight up with this. You click and go straight up with this. You click and go straight up with this. Option, click the point, then shift click, and you're going to have to Option shift click to finish the shape. I better write that down again. Let's go over here and go like this. Now watch how I finish this shape. It's very easy. If you hold the Option key, you can convert this down and edit later. Click this one, go up to the Bezier handle, hold the Option key for the Convert tool. Look at how it doesn't show up till I get it over there. And now make it go down, and then make this one go up. Then this is kind of interesting. If you stay in the Convert tool, in order to see the handlebar on this side, you're going to ruin that side. So you have to switch your finger to the Command key and show the handlebars. Switch back to the Option key so that you can convert the handlebar. And that is how to perform a correct R3. And that's what R3 is. So I'll double click this one and I'll name it R3. Now let me see if there's anything else I want to discuss with you on this. I could show the bottom shape. I'll show you individually if I have to, which I will, no problem, either by a class demo or some other way at your station. But that is basically how to do all of the shapes. In your student folder, I've given you my example finished file so you can see what all the shapes look like. Please, I'm going to be looking at yours for the number of points you have in relationship to the PDF file. All the points that you have should match up to the PDF file. All right, I don't want any more points. Like, don't give me any points that aren't on this file. Thank you very much. And I believe that that's all I want to say. Let me show you the finished file again, if I didn't get rid of it. Let me bring up my finished example. And my finished example should have all the colors on it, which I will bring up on screen right now by dragging down. Again, I don't care about how you color it, but you are going to be graded on the layer part of it versus the path part of it and the organization therein. So, any questions, please give me a call. Ignore that I have this down here. This was for me to build my entire assignment, okay? And I'm going to go and close this and ask you to just ask me any questions, and let's see how well you do.